Good morning, everyone. Welcome to LinkedIn for Job Search. We're going to get started today. Everybody seems to be here, so we're going to get rolling. Let me just say, we work for an organization called Tailored for Success, and I just want to make you aware of the fact that they exist. It's a company that has an office here in our Woburn location, and they're open on Wednesday and Thursday. And what they have is actually only Wednesday, I'm sorry. They have a career closet for men and women's clothing. So if you are in need of clothing, corporate clothing, clothing that is for job search, and you need anything, a tie, a whole suit, a jacket, a pair of pants, accessories, whatever, you can drop by Wednesdays in Woburn between 9 and 12 o'clock, and they'll be open. Or if you need an appointment a different day of the week, you can send an email to ehart@tailoredforsuccess.org, and she will be happy to set something up for you. Okay, so that's the story with Tailored for Success. I want to make sure that you all knew about them. Take a look at this gentleman standing in the front holding a blue file. Notice how well he's dressed. He looks terrific. He looks professional. He looks 100% there. Look at his elbow. Do you see his right elbow? Just below his right elbow is the gentleman behind him. And if you notice, the gentleman behind him seems to be wearing shorts. Not good. He needs to go to Tailored for Success and get some professional clothes. It doesn't matter. When you meet someone, the first impression is always the biggest impression. So don't show up like the man behind the man with the folder. Okay, be scared, but do it anyway. Be underqualified and get in the room anyway. Be messy, imperfect, unsure, and show up anyway. Comfort is the enemy of growth. Get uncomfortable. LinkedIn makes a lot of people uncomfortable. You're not alone. So just think about this. Jump in. Just jump in. My name is Nancy Quinn, and this is my LinkedIn headline. I have been in your shoes. I've been where you are. I did a major career change. I was in the travel agency industry when I first got out of college, and I worked in that industry for 15 years, and I got laid off 3 times because they all closed. Then I did a major career change, and I've done 15 years in career services since then, and I'm happy to say that I love it just as much. I found the right fit, but it took a while. I had a couple of bumps in the road. We have a workshop called Career Change Second Act on the 30th, if you're interested in finding out how to change careers. It's called Career Change Second Act on the 30th. So we talk about it. So you can do it too if you need to. Sometimes it's voluntary, or like me, it was forced upon me. Now take a look at my headline. I have 220 spaces or characters that I can use, and I put in workshop facilitator, career services, and workforce development is there as well. The key to your LinkedIn account is it has to be up to date. Let me tell you that your LinkedIn account is almost as important as your resume. Think about the process. Let's say you go online and you apply for a job, and you have everything ready to go, and you submit your resume, and it gets to the manager, and the manager is interested in you because your resume looks fantastic. What's the first thing they're going to do? What do you think they're going to do? Can anybody put that in the chat? What's the first thing they're going to do? Actually, let me go to the next page. In case you don't know how to get to the chat, just go to the chat box, click on that. Somebody said they'll Google your name, they'll go to LinkedIn, they'll Google you, check your profile. Exactly. Exactly. The first thing they're going to do is they're going to check you online and see your online presence. And if they look at your LinkedIn account and it's not up to date, they're going to think you're not up to date. They're going to judge you based on how well you've set up your LinkedIn account. So today is all about getting it shipshape so that you can use it for a job search. So if you're on a laptop or a desktop and you want to chat, just hit the chat button. When we're done with the presentation today, I'm going to send this out to you shortly after we finish. For those of you that are here, when I tell you that we're all set, you can check off by clicking on the red X, but don't do that now, please. Stay with me. If you need closed captioning, just click on the CC button. A transcript will be read, and then you can go and you can change it to a different language if you'd like to. Then if you come in with a handheld or a mobile device, just take a look for the 3 dots on the front. Click on that, go to the advanced section, go to Q&A, and you can use the Q&A because there's not a chat when you have a handheld device. You can also go to advanced again to the WebEx Assistant to change into closed caption if you want to. Okay, so that's how we're going to communicate. So let's think about this. Are you ready to job search? Is your LinkedIn profile complete? Is it up to date? Is it current? Does it have words that are current? I had gotten laid off several years ago, and I had not looked at my LinkedIn account for several years, and it looked it. And it was dated, and it was old, and it looked half disheveled because it wasn't current. That's not the image I want to project. You want to project a professional image. People are going to judge you. So is your LinkedIn profile complete? Did you customize your public profile so that people can see you and you control what they see? We're going to look at that. Did you customize your URL? When you first open up an account, you get this URL that's your LinkedIn address, and it goes on and on and on and on and on and on. And there's a very simple way to make it a very short, concise URL. I'm going to show you how to do that. So at the bottom, just let me show you a couple of resources before we get started. If you're curious about looking at some of our other videos that we have a YouTube channel, and you can go on to MassHire Metro North on Google and just Google what it says right there, MassHire Metro North Career Center YouTube channel, and you can see our videos. We have roughly 40 videos in there. Now, if you're looking for another workshop or you're curious about what we have coming up, next week we're going to talk about federal resumes and federal job search. Take a look at the blue URL. That'll take you right into our workshops, and you can register there. Okay, I'm going to be sending this out to you so you'll have a copy. So don't worry if you don't get that down right now. Now, LinkedIn for your job search. Who cares? Why do I need it? Well, because there's 30 million companies that have profiles. One of the things you want to do when you are applying to a company, you want to do some serious research. You want to look the company up. You want to know about their programs, their products. You want to know about their competition. You want to know about their mission statement. You want to know lots of things about that company before you even apply. You want to know them inside out. One place you can go is on LinkedIn into a corporate LinkedIn account to look at what they have to say to the public. There's 20 million job listings posted every year, more than that now on LinkedIn. That's a lot of job listings, and it's a very nice place to go because when they do list the jobs for you, sometimes you get additional information in LinkedIn that you don't get anywhere else, like the name of the manager or the person that posted the actual job ad. So again, first thing they're going to do is look at you, so make your profile work for you. Use current and specific data about your professional intelligence. Everything about LinkedIn is professional. Now, your LinkedIn section that's called the About section, which is the summary of you, is a little story, and you write a little story. We have a separate workshop for that called LinkedIn Headline and Summary, and that's next month. But it's a little story about your professional self. Everything is all about you. Now, something else you want to do when you're looking to get into a company and maybe they don't have a job, but you just want to connect with them, you can look at your contacts and see if you have anybody who's in that company. Do some research. See if some people that you know people in companies that you're looking for and ask to be introduced to them. It's a simple message in LinkedIn. Search LinkedIn groups. There's a lot of groups on LinkedIn that discuss different jobs and different careers in different areas. Take a look at your area, your specialization, see if there's some groups you can join. Get involved and participate in those groups. Sometimes LinkedIn is a great place that recruiters and hiring managers will go when they first are looking for someone, and they'll go in and they will bring up your profile And then they're going to move to the bottom. They're going to look at your references and see what people have to say about you. So make sure if you have a written reference from someone, you ask them if they would go on and do a reference in LinkedIn for you. Follow current employees that you know that are in the companies that you want to be in. If you follow them, you'll get updates. You'll get job ads. So there's several things you need to do right from this very page here. There's a lot to do on LinkedIn. It can take you days to get this thing up and running, so don't panic. Take it one step at a time. That's how we're going to talk about it right now. Okay, I'm not going to read through this. This is for you to read later. This is overwhelming in my opinion, but it's everything you need to have a professional profile. Take it one piece at a time. You need to have a photo on your LinkedIn account. Everyone needs a photo. I don't like my picture either, but it's on there because if you don't have it on there, generally speaking, people will ignore your profile. They want to see a face. That's just the way it is. People say, well, I don't want to put my face on there. I'm 65. Well, guess what? When they Google you, they're also going to find out how old you are. It comes up. It's very easy to find. So you're not hiding anything, and you don't want to hide anything. We have a workshop next Friday, the 19th, called New Strategies for Older Workers. And there's a lot of strategies for older workers. So sign up next Friday, the 19th, New Strategies for Older Workers, and we'll talk more about older workers. Okay, this is everything that you need. We're going to go right past this for now, talk about different things that will make your life easier. Now, before you apply for a job on LinkedIn, make sure that the dates on your resume match the dates on your LinkedIn account. The terminology doesn't have to match exactly because when you do a resume, you change the words to match the job ad every single time. And if you haven't heard that before, stop crying. I'm kidding. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. But make sure that you continually keep your profile dates matching your resume dates. Make sure they're synced in. Make sure also that they have keywords on both of them. You get the keywords from the job ads. You go into a job ad and you get excited about a job and you look at a job ad and you say, oh, wow, I can do that. I can do that. I've done that. I've done that. You want to take those words that get you excited and put them on your resume, put them on your cover letter, put them on your LinkedIn account. Make sure those current terms are on your account. So I mentioned recruiters already. So effective networking means connecting with recruiters and a large number of people. If you use recruiters, you don't have to, but if you do, I would say the first thing you should do is seek them out in LinkedIn. Find them and link to them. Find their company name and link to the company or follow the company and link to the recruiter. Always establish a relationship on LinkedIn. A large number of people are going to connect through recruiters. Get recommendations and endorsements for your LinkedIn account. Have people put in their recommendations about how great you are. There's a way to get endorsements for certain skills that's in there as well. Take a look at that. Remember, any of these things that you see that you don't know how to do, all you have to do is Google them. Okay? Research companies and employers. Make sure you know all about them. Post and search news feeds. I post my webinars online on LinkedIn, and I post every job that comes across my desk, so to say. I repost all the jobs that I see. So if you want to link to me, feel free to link to me. I'm in LinkedIn. Just make sure you mention that you were in a workshop of mine so that I know who you are and you're not just some random person, because you do have to be careful who you connect with. Join groups. There are groups where they discuss different employment opportunities and topics. Find groups that are relevant to you and join them. And the thing you want to remember about groups, You want to participate in the group. You want to post things. You want to ask questions. You want to answer questions. Okay? There are skills assessment tests that you can take. There are several of them. You don't have to take them. Don't worry about them. There's something you do when you've got everything else settled down. Do a job search in LinkedIn. They have the same kind of job search as everybody else, but they have more information sometimes in their listings than you get elsewhere. So I would say always do a LinkedIn job search. I'm going to show you that. Now here's my front page, my home page. And what I want you to remember about your LinkedIn account is it's all about you. You're in charge of what goes on there. If someone sends a recommendation and you don't like it, you don't have to accept it. It doesn't have to go on there. You're in charge of who sees you. I'm going to show you where to go to make sure you get that done. Take a look. On the top of this, it says, let's go to LinkedIn. There's an arrow and there's a little picture of me and it says me. That's the button you go to for all the security. So make a note of that. That's one of the first buttons you want to work on. It'll take you probably an afternoon to go through all the different security listings and figure out which way you want them to be. But that's where you secure things. You go to the Me section. Anytime you're in LinkedIn and you get lost, click on the Me button. And then you can click on the Home button. That's the Me button. The Me button is where you go and you set up all your security. On the right-hand side, there's an arrow that points to edit public profile and URL. And I mentioned that earlier was one of the key things that you have to do. You click on that bar and it'll take you right into how to actually edit your public profile. It'll be a series of questions and it'll be yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. And you can shorten your URL if you want to. Make sure that your URL, when you change it, is professional. It's best to use your name and your zip code, your name and your industry. Do not use the year you were born. Do not use your birth date. Sometimes you have to put what you do first. Workshop facilitator, Nancy Quinn. Nancy Quinn, workshop facilitator. Both of those were taken. I've got Nancy M. Quinn, and I was able to get that one. So that's mine. But that's where I got it. Take a look at the picture of me. Like it or lump it, you got to have a picture. Gotta. Behind that is a picture of someone taking notes, and I assume that's someone studying. You want to use the picture behind your head to represent your industry. You want to get some kind of picture that represents what you do or what you believe in. If you notice in that picture, there's a little circle with a pencil in it. You click on that, and that'll take you into how to change anything in that section that you want. If you look directly below that, just below the picture, there's another pencil. If you want to change that section, you click on that pencil. If you want to update, if I want to put my middle initial in there, I would go to that pencil in the white section. It will come up with fill in the blanks. You literally fill in the blank and save it. Very, very straightforward. Okay, now any kind of certification that's valid for your industry goes with your name. So if you are, like I'm a global career development facilitator. Wah, wah, wah. Very, very fancy. But it's a GCDF, it's a certification in my industry that's valuable, so I put it there because I earned it. Put in certifications that are valid and that are current. Underneath that, you get 220 characters to write a headline about you. Now think about it. This is what someone sees when they get my initial LinkedIn account. If I get their attention in the headline, if I say something that they're interested in the headline, they're going to go further and they're going to want to read the rest of my story. If it says nothing about what I can do for them, it says nothing about anything that I can do, they're not going to want to go any further. So that headline's very, very important. You need to figure out 220 characters that you can put in that will speak to your value. Okay? Now, something they do all the time is they try to sell you LinkedIn Premium. If you notice the picture on the right-hand side, right next to it says in, it says raise brand awareness, drive website traffic, generate, use LinkedIn. So they'll start to try to have you buy LinkedIn products from the very beginning. You don't have to. Is it useful? I think when you're actively job searching, usually it's worth the investment. But again, do some research, figure it out for yourself. There are a lot of benefits to it. If you go into the Me section, they have a whole section in there that talks about the premium and what the benefits are with premium. So it's a good investment if you want to be able to get a hold of managers, contact managers directly, message managers, message hiring managers. Someone said, what do you use for a title when you're unemployed and looking for a position? You use the position you're looking for. You use what you last were or what it's what you're going to get. I want to be a workshop facilitator. I start off with workshop facilitator, and I start off my profile talking about my last job. So it's all about your history. It's all about you, all about your history. Now, I mentioned this earlier. I'm going to kind of zip through this. Follow companies to get updates and trends. How do you follow a company? You go on their LinkedIn site, and on their front page, there's a blue button. It's pretty big. It's about 1 inch wide, and it says follow. And you click on the follow button. Very simple. So you can go in and you can find out more about the company. You can use that information on your cover letter if you find out something interesting or during the interview. Determine what characteristics your ideal employer would have. You should be working off a list of companies that you want to work for right now. One of the first things you want to do in a job search is develop a list of companies that you want to work for. Research them, find out if they really fit what you want to do. Look on LinkedIn, do some research. Again, on the right-hand side, LinkedIn company profiles often provide solid insight into the company's culture, which you can't necessarily get off of their website. Their past, current, and future projects, new hires, promotions, events that they celebrate, causes, and goals. All of those things are things you can talk about in an interview to let them know you've done your homework and your research. Another place you can go to find out about companies is Glassdoor.com. That's a little side issue, Glassdoor.com. It's like Yelp for jobs, where people write about their experiences at different companies. It's an interesting website. Take a look, Glassdoor.com. If you're not sure how to make that list of the companies that you want to work for, you can go to the Fortune 100 Best Companies to Work For, or Glassdoor is the best places to work for. You should be doing what's called a self-driven job search, where you are pursuing companies, even when they're not hiring. We're going to talk about why and how. Okay, this is just a picture of how you customize your profile. I'm sorry, your URL. And at the top in green, it says www.linkedin.com/first name/last name. That's what you try to get. Sometimes you have to put a number in there or a date, but don't put a date in there. Put in your job title. And it's a box where you literally fill it in with what you want it to say, and it changes it for you. If it's not available, it'll send you a couple of options. Okay. All right. Public visibility is all up to you. You decide what's happening and who sees you. It's that button that I told you. What's the name of that button that you have to go to get your settings? Anybody remember what I said? Who's it all about? Right. It's all about me. Exactly. You go to the Me button. When you're lost and you're in the middle of this whole thing, go to the Me button, go to the Home button, All LinkedIn users can see your profile unless you physically block them one by one. And that's literally something that when you click on their message, there's an option to block them. With your public profile, you can choose what people see when they do a search on the internet, even if they're not a LinkedIn user. Think about that. Recruiters sometimes go on LinkedIn to find people. You want to be visible to recruiters. So don't lock yourself down too much. Think about it. Everybody has a different situation. Everybody has a different scenario. Some people have different issues. Think when you look in that section, the me section, go in one by one and answer those questions, and that'll help you set up your security. Okay, so you decide how much people can see when they just do a general search. You decide how much they can see if they're an actual LinkedIn member. You decide that. This is just a picture of what it looks like, how you can go into your profile. On the left-hand side, it says account preferences. What you're going to find, and I find this every time I do this workshop, which is every month or so I do it, they change the different looks, they change the different pictures, and they change the different setup, but the functions are the same in these different categories. So there's an account preference section where you can go into your public profile, your site preference, and all of those. Down the middle there, 2/3 down, it says visibility on the left-hand side. That's where you can set. And this is all coming from the me section. Okay, so you can see you just click on the change button if you want to change something. You can change your mind tomorrow, go back in and fix it. Nothing's permanent. You can change it, you can't break it. So if you're thinking, I'm not thrilled about this LinkedIn thing, it really, really can be a benefit to you. It really, truly can. Skills and endorsements are going to be real important. The right endorsements can go a long way in helping establish your professional brand. Like I said before, recruiters and managers go in and they'll look up your account and they'll look at your headline and they'll move down to the recommendations and endorsements to see what people think about you, to see what random people think, to see what professionals think about you, see what people say about you. It's always going to be good because you are in charge of what gets on your account and what doesn't. So if someone sends you a recommendation and you don't like it, you get the choice to send it back to them and explain to them what you'd like them to focus on. And if they do it, terrific. If they don't, you don't post it. That's all. Endorse other people. It's a give and take on LinkedIn. You want to do for people as well as take. So go on to people that you're comfortable with and you're familiar with. Find their accounts. Go on and click on the endorsement buttons. It's very important that you reconnect with people, all kinds of people from high school, college, jobs in the past, old business associates, old accounts that you may have had. Make sure you connect to everybody that you possibly can comfortably. Endorsing your colleagues keeps strong connections with people in your network. People appreciate them, as you will too. Get recommendations and give them. Usually when you get a recommendation, someone expects you to give them one as well. And that's fine. The number of recommendations you have and the keywords included in those recommendations are part of LinkedIn's search algorithm. You can send a message to someone. I'd like to ask you if you would do me a favor and give me a recommendation for my webinar presentation. I'd like to focus on communication. I'd like to focus on humor. I'd like to focus on content. I'd like to focus on my ability to deliver this. Could you do a recommendation? Do you feel comfortable doing a recommendation for me? Focusing on those points. Ask people, but give them some guidance. Don't just let people randomly write, oh, she's loads of fun, we go bowling all the time. No, that's not what they're looking for. They're looking for a professional reference. Okay, because what's happening is managers are going in there and they're looking for you by keywords. You need to know what the keywords are, you need to know what the point is, and you need to convey that to people doing your recommendations. Now, some people say, how do we find out if our LinkedIn account is optimized, if it's at its best? And there's a company called jobscan.co. Again, I'm not going to get into much detail about this, but it's something I want you to take a look at. I want you, not right now, but I want you to make a note to look at this later. Jobscan.co is a really nice company. And what they do is they offer a free section where you can use their job search information, and they offer a paid section that you can use as well. Take a look at these two URLs. Take a look at what their optimization guide does and how it will look at your account once you've done it and tell you what's missing, tell you what you should highlight, or tell you that it looks good. It'll give you a rating of how closely you match their standards for a LinkedIn account. Why does LinkedIn optimization matter? 44,000 job applications are submitted daily through LinkedIn. Think about that. When you submit, you want to be sure that everything looks good. 74% of recruiters source job candidates from LinkedIn. That's where they go to look for people. It's free, relatively free. It's not free for them when they use their keyword search, but it's a resource that many, many people use. And a lot of companies, 94% of recruiters use LinkedIn to vet candidates. You can see the power behind LinkedIn and how you can get seen, and you could be seen professionally, and that's what you're looking for. This is another page from Why Does LinkedIn Optimization Matter? Again, I'm going to kind of skip over that. I want you to be aware that they exist. They also do the same thing with resumes. We talk about them very briefly in the resume workshop, which is next month. Now, job search. You can find jobs on LinkedIn. Sometimes you can find jobs on LinkedIn earlier than they get on other sites. Sometimes. It's a good place to go. Personally, when I'm job hunting, LinkedIn is my first place I go for job search. They have all the same qualifiers as Indeed does. They have more. It's just the same as being on Indeed. It's upper level, higher. So at the top, in the top left-hand corner, it says in, and you just put in what you're looking for. And then next to that, Boston, Massachusetts, and you can click on search right away. Or if you move down, you can change this to groups if you're looking for groups. Schools, if you're looking for schools. Or companies, if you're looking for companies. It's amazing what you can find out through this section. You can put how many miles distance, the date posted, the experience level, the company, the job type, on-site or remote. And then you can click on the green one. It says all filters, and it'll show you all their filters. When you put in what you're looking for, on the left-hand side underneath the word jobs, you see it says workshop facilitator in Boston, Massachusetts, set alert. Click on that and set the alert for workshop facilitator. Then go back in, do it all over again with webinar facilitator. Then go in and do it again for workshop instructor. Then go in for webinar instructor. So I should rightfully have at least 4 job alerts on LinkedIn for my job if I were looking for my job right now. Use multiple job alerts to find out everything in your industry. You notice with this underneath it, it says Clatch Workshop Facilitator. Interesting. It says your profile matches the job. And right above that, above my picture, the little teeny picture there on the left, it says your profile matches this job. Above that, it says United States remote. Yes, they have remote and part-time jobs and full-time jobs, just like everybody else. Now, underneath my little picture on the left, it says it was posted 17 hours ago, which is terrific. There is a way you can apply called Easy Apply. We're not going to talk about that too much right now. What I would suggest you do when you apply for a job, if you have LinkedIn Premium, apply right through this. If you have regular LinkedIn, take that information, go to the website of the company, and apply right on the website. Your most effective application is done closest to the source being the company. Okay, so I would say don't do easy apply because it's a short, fast way to send a brief resume, but you're better off taking the time to fix your resume, to match the job ad, and download it for them. Be thorough. Okay, now toward the middle, it says workshop facilitator. In the white section, it says Clatch, United States remote, 17 hours ago, 13 applicants. It even tells you how many people through LinkedIn have applied. Underneath that, it says it's a contract, 11 to 50 employees. See recent hiring trends for Clatch if you are on premium, so you can see what their hiring trends are. The thing that I find most important with this is look at the bottom. It says posted by Jeremy Duchin, founder and CEO at Clatch. How else do you find these names? When I suggest to people that they set up a cover letter and they send it to the manager, the first question is, how do I find them? How do I find them? Well, sometimes you can jump on LinkedIn and find them in the organization chart. Sometimes it's right in the job ad. Now you notice on the bottom right-hand side, it says premium send in mail. If you have premium, you can send messages to managers. That's a real benefit of having premium. Again, it's up to you if you decide you want to invest in that. Let me go back to the top. I just want to show you. Do you see the little house with a circle on it right in the middle at the top? That's the home page. Click on the home page. That red circle means I'm online right now. Next to that are your connections. Next to that is job search. That's what the little briefcase is for. Then there are messages for you, and then there are alerts for you, and then there's that famous old me button. Okay? Now it says try premium for free right next to my picture on the top right. They will give you 1 month of premium for free. At the end of that month, they start charging you. What I would say is go into your account, update your account, make it current, update everything, have it perfect, then get the free account for a month because it's ready to be used. Don't waste that free month while you're fixing it. And then you can decide whether or not you want to keep it. Okay? So that's what it looks like when you job search. Looks really similar to all the other sites, but it's got a few advantages. How many applicants are there? How long ago was it posted? Who's the hiring person? You don't see that everywhere. Okay, again, here's another one. On the left-hand side, it says workshop facilitator in Boston, Massachusetts, workshop facilitator Clatch. Underneath that, it talks about Cal Mentor at Petco in Weymouth. It tells me that my profile matches the job. It was listed 5 days ago and there are 0 applicants. I'm reading down the left-hand side. Then there's contract workshop facilitator at Duarte Incorporated, United States remote. 3 jobs. The one in powder blue at the top is highlighted on the right-hand side in much more detail. So that's the job search. Anybody have any questions of what we've covered so far? Are we doing okay out there? Everybody okay? I'm giving you a lot of information, I know. It's all good information. Okay, doesn't seem to be okay. Someone said doing good. Okay, excellent. Now the filter section, don't forget, if you're looking for remote, on-site, or hybrid, think about contract work too. And you can click on all these different buttons and they have more, just like the other ones. Okay, so don't forget, you can click on for strictly hybrid or remote. Someone asked, is the number of applicants only for LinkedIn applicants or all? Just LinkedIn. It's all about how many LinkedIn applicants have applied for that job. Okay, so again, I showed you how to click on that little alert button to save your alerts. Make sure you save your alerts. Take a look at the career advisor position at Harvard University, Boston, Massachusetts, on site. It even gives the salary there. Sometimes LinkedIn will have these extra things that other sites don't have. Underneath that, what's really important is it says I have 2 connections that work there. What should I do right now? When I see that I have 2 connections to a job that I'm interested in, what should I do? I've already connected to them. Should I contact them? Of course you should. You should contact them. Let them know you're applying for a job at their organization. It tells you who they are, and then you can go to their different accounts and link to them. Well, actually, you'd be linked to them already. You can actually message them. Okay. So just go in and hit the save button. That's really alert on, alert off. That's all you have to do. Okay, and then to access your job alerts, you go in the section that says My Jobs, and you'll see that on that same page, and they'll come up. You can edit the alerts if you want to get rid of them. If you don't want them anymore, just change them, X them, cancel them out. How to apply through LinkedIn. As I mentioned a minute ago, when you apply through LinkedIn, if you have LinkedIn Premium, your application somehow goes higher up on the list with the company. I don't know how it works. I just know what they've told me. If you have regular LinkedIn, which is free, it doesn't change the order in which your application is received. So if you have regular LinkedIn, the best thing to do is go to the company that you see in the job alert and apply on their site. Okay? Okay. So how do you apply online? You create an account and then you upload your resume. Before you upload your resume, you need to stop, get out of LinkedIn, go to your resume, change your resume to match the job ad. Check out those keywords and put them all over your resume. Sprinkle them throughout your resume. And then you just upload your resume. Okay, when you go to the apply button, it will sometimes take you right to the other company, which is great because that's the closest you can get when you are getting hired. You want to apply as close to the source as possible. Now, something I want you to be aware of, and I put this in all my workshops now, is ChatGPT or artificial intelligence. There are many different brands. One of them is Bard, B-A-R-D, like boy, apple, Robert, David, Bard. If you're not familiar with artificial intelligence, don't let it overwhelm you. If you've got LinkedIn on the mind, don't worry. You can still Google things the way you used to, but ChatGPT, Bard, artificial intelligence, it's all a new tool you can use. I took my LinkedIn profile and I went on to ChatGPT and I opened up an account. And when you think about it, someone asked, is it free? If you go to openai.com, as of yesterday, it was free. I'm going to put that in the chat. Some are free, some cost. OpenAI.com, you can open up a free account or you can buy their big account that's much more up to date and far more powerful. But even if you use the simplest one, you can go on, and what they give you when you go into Google, they give you a bar. You go into the Google search bar and you put in what you want, and that's cool. You can still do that. Don't worry about that. That's there forever. What you do with ChatGPT, Bard, and the other ones is they give you a search box, and you write in the search box anything you want to say. as though you're talking to a person. So I wrote in, I want to update my LinkedIn profile to be more friendly and upbeat. And I pasted my LinkedIn profile that I had right in there. And I hit the button, and within 1 second, I had a new LinkedIn profile. Be careful when you use AI. Sometimes it goes rogue and it goes off onto tangents and writes silly things. So never just copy something and use it. Always make sure you proof it before you use it. What I do, my normal thing that I do when I use AI is I always do it twice. I do whatever I want to do, whatever my question might be. I put it in 2 different times and I get 2 different answers, and I take those answers and I make my own answer. You have to be careful with AI. Okay, so there's many brands. Do a little research. Another brand that's big is Bard, B-A-R-D. I just want you to be aware of artificial intelligence. It could come up in an interview. Someone might say, do you use artificial intelligence? Even if you don't know what it is, figure out what it is so you can speak intelligently about it, because it's everywhere. It's going to be everywhere. It's going to take away jobs. It's going to take my job. Eventually, it's amazing how quick it does what it does. But be careful. Don't just copy off of AI. Make your own version. Use it as like brainstorming to find an idea. That's ChatGPT, artificial intelligence, Bard. Again, Bard and ChatGPT are brand names, just like Google and Yahoo. They're just different brand names of artificial intelligence. Is anybody out there using it for your job search yet? You can use it with your resume, your cover letter, your thank you notes, interview questions and answers. You can go into any one of these different programs and use them to find out what questions should I ask after the interview for this job, and paste in the job ad. You get a whole box. Talk to it like it's an assistant of yours. You could write in there, I'm in a job search. I am currently unemployed and I want a summary for my resume for this particular job ad, focusing on leadership and communication. Paste in the job ad and it'll come up with the summary for your resume. Be careful. Someone said they've used it to create cover letter templates based on a job description. Excellent, excellent. You just want to be cautious. Don't be frivolous with it. It can sometimes run into problems. It's relatively new, so it's still in the workings period, but that's artificial intelligence. I want you to be aware of that. Okay, anybody have any questions? Phew. I've got some resources for you. I've got a couple of pages of resources I'm going to go over. Everything that's in red is what I like to call wicked important. All of them are valuable. All of them have great content. But please read the red ones. If you don't read any of them. This one is LinkedIn profile tips. The second one is branded LinkedIn summary. The third one is LinkedIn for job seekers. The fourth one is LinkedIn profile guide. Take a look at that. It'll show you how to put together your profile. That's the hardest part about your whole LinkedIn account, is what you put in your profile. Your profile is your summary or your about section. And you have many characters. I think it's 1,500, but I'm not positive. Where you can put together a summary about your professional self. When you do your profile, make sure you write it like a story. Make it personal. Check out our February calendar when it's up for our LinkedIn profile and summary next month. The last one shows you some summary examples for LinkedIn. Okay, keep an eye on our website for new webinars. What we have coming up next Thursday is federal job search. We're going to talk about how different it is to apply for a federal job, where to find them, how to apply for them, what to be careful of, what to be cautious of, what's different about them. They're very different. Your federal resume can be 5 pages long. Oftentimes they prefer that because of the content of what they want on your resume. Next Friday, the 19th, new strategies for older workers. Take a look at that one. That's a really good one. That one's always chock full of people because we're all looking for hints and tips. And I've got a lot of them. So take a look. There's actually a webinar on Monday the 22nd called CarStar. And that CarStar webinar is a great webinar to actually go to if you want to find out how to brag about yourself, how to write up different things about yourself that are important. We also have a YouTube channel, and that's listed right there. If you don't want to use the URL, you can just Google MassHire Metro North Career Center YouTube, and you will be all set. Yes, I will be sending this to you within a half an hour. Someone asked if I'm going to send out the presentation. Yep, I will be sending this out, so you'll have all of this in hand within a half an hour or so. Any other questions? Anybody else? Any other questions? Okay. Well, we made it. You lived through it. You survived. And you're a lot smarter, right? Right. Okay, everybody. Any other questions? All right. You're welcome. People are saying they're all set. All right. Well, you can go ahead and sign off. You are very, very welcome. Thank you for coming. Have a great weekend. Have a great long weekend if you have a long weekend. You are welcome, everybody. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you being here. I'm lucky enough to be here with you. I'm lucky enough to do what I love to do. It wasn't always that way. So you too will get back into the job. Unemployment is temporary. Okay? You're welcome. So go ahead and sign out, everybody. I don't like to sign out before you do because it seems rude to leave you hanging.